Hello, wonderful person. This is Chris for the Informed Stoner. It's Monday evening, time for our evening news report. Before we get started, if you would please like and subscribe, that would really help the channel out, and we'd appreciate it. From NBCNews.com, why regulators seize Signature Bank in third biggest bank failure in U.S. history. I think part of what happened was the regulators wanted to send a very strong anti-crypto message, said board member and former Congressman Barry Frank. All right, so I don't know what's going on in the big picture here. We only know what we've been shown so far, right? So we had the second biggest bank failure last week. Now we have the third biggest bank failure in U.S. history, right on its tails. Are other things going to collapse? Is this bad times we're going into? Maybe. Hopefully not, but we'll see what happens. I just hope for the best for all of us. On Friday, Signature Bank customers spooked by the sudden collapse of Silicon Valley Bank withdrew more than $10 billion in deposits, a board member told CNBC. So Friday they made a run on the bank, took $10 billion in assets. I don't know how much cash they have on hand normally, but that definitely did a dent in their funds. The run on deposits quickly led to the third largest bank failure in U.S. history. Regulators announced late Sunday that Signature was being taken over to protect its depositors and the stability of the U.S. financial system. That doesn't bode well. I wonder what the number one and number two banks are doing, you know what I mean? The sudden move shocked executives at Signature Bank, a New York-based institution with deep ties to real estate and legal industry, said board member and former U.S. Rep Barry Frank. Signature had 40 branches, assets of $110.36 billion, and deposits of $88.59 billion at the end of 2022, according to regulator filing. We had no indication of problems until we got a deposit run late Friday, which was purely contagion from SVB, Frank told CNBC in a phone interview. All right, so they're saying that this whole run only happened because of the failure of SVB, which may be, possible. People got freaked out and spooked. But if they had 110 billion in assets and deposits of 88.5 billion just last year, but they only had 10 billion in cash, and that broke them when they ran that much. That's the bank's fault, if you ask me. They should be required to have more than that in funds, because this is these people's money. They had 88.59 billion in deposits at the end of 2022, but here in third month into 2023, they only have $10 billion. Where that 78.59 billion get invested into is what I want to know. I mean, I'm sure that they put it into all kinds of crazy stuff, but I don't know. They should have to have more than 10 billion if their assets are that high. I think it's kind of ridiculous. But there's more intelligent people than me on this, I'm sure. Problems for U.S. banks and exposure to the frothiest assets class of the COVID pandemic, crypto and tech startups, boiled over last week when the wind down on the crypto-centric Silvergate Bank, while the firm's demise had been long expected. Funny thing is Bitcoin's going up right now because, everyone probably freaking out. It helped ignite a panic about banks and the high levels of uninsured deposits. Venture capital and investors and founders drained their Silicon Valley Bank accounts Thursday, leaving it to its seizure by midday Friday. Worry spread that led to the pressure of Signature, First Republican, and other names late last week on fears of uninsured deposits could be locked up or lose value, either of which could be fatal to startups. Signature Bank was founded in 2001 as a more business-friendly alternative to big banks. It expanded to the West Coast and then opened itself to the crypto industry in 2018, which helped turbocharge deposit growth in recent years. The bank created a 24/7 payments network for crypto clients and had 16.5 billion in deposits from digital assets related to customers. Okay, so that's, a lot of money, but again, $10 billion bank run collapses its whole system, and they're supposed to have all this cash. It's bad. They shouldn't invest as much. I know that's what a bank does, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments what y'all think. But as waves of concern spread last week, Signature customers moved deposits to bigger banks, including JP Morgan Chase and Citigroup, Frank said. According to Frank, Signature executives explored all avenues to shore up its situation, including finding more capital, engaging interest from potential acquirers, so they were looking at selling the bank. The deposit exodus had been closed by Sunday, he said, and the executives believe that the stability is the situation. stabilize the situation. Instead, Signature's top managers had been summarily removed and the bank was shuttered Friday, Sunday. Okay, so yeah, they got that run on them, took them down, and now they've been acquired by the government, basically. Regulators are now conducting a sales process for the bank while guaranteeing that the customers will have access to deposits and service will continue uninterrupted. The move raised some eyebrows among observers. In the same Sunday announcement, they identified SVB Signature Bank as a risk of financial stability. Regulators announced new facilities to shore up confidence in the country's other banks. Another bank that had been under pressure in recent days, First Republic, declared that it had more than $70 billion in untapped funding from the Federal Reserve and JP Morgan Chase. For his part, Frank, who helped draft the landmark Dodd-Frank Act after the 2008 financial crisis, said there was no real objective reason that Signature had to be seized. I think part of what was happening was regulators wanted to send a very strong anti-crypto message. Frank said, "We became the poster boy because there was no insolvency based on the fundamentals." See, that sounded a little bit weird. I don't know the whole story behind that, but if the feds are seizing this bank just to say no to the mass crypto, they might be making moves to push their own. Who knows? Again, leave some comments below, guys. Let's talk about this. What do you guys think? Anyhow, you all have a great Monday evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.